Rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God. Thomas Jefferson. Welcome back, Patriots. Welcome to Sons of Liberty 1773. I'm your host, Bill Bailey, who will be channeling the patriotism of America's founding fathers. I'm out in the gas station again today. As you can see, my controller came and I wired it up so my stoplight actually works. Waiting for the temperatures to get a little warmer out here so I can start painting. It's kind of mindless work, but it takes my mind off all this, stuff, and a little peace of mind. But, I'm back into it. We can't hide from this stuff. We got to be aware. So before I get into the Trump stuff, and it looks like they're going to arrest him and do the perb walk, DeSantis, DeSanctimonious, said he's not going to do anything to help Trump. So goodbye to him. His presidential run ended before it even got started. But I digress. So NATO, folks, we're heading for World War III. This is why I keep saying keep prepping and, of course, keep praying, stack it to the rafters. But NATO is considering, and most likely will, deploying 300,000 soldiers on Russia's border. At present, the NATO countries have approximately 754 miles of land bordering Russia across northern Norway, eastern Latvia and Estonia, and borders with Poland and Lithuania, and around Russia's Kaliningrad is where that part is. And the U.S. just sent another $350 million in weapons to Ukraine. And America, Communications Director John Kirby says America will not accept a ceasefire, even if China and Russia work one out. They won't allow Ukraine to accept it because their reasoning is any ceasefire would favor Putin. They want war, folks. They want, and it's going to go nuclear. They're hell-bent on starting the last war of humanity. Last war with sophisticated weapons because Einstein said, I know not what World War III will be fought with, we do, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. So that's, the war thing is getting serious. And it even gets worse because Xi Jinping is with Putin today, and they are just buddies now. Two of our formidable enemies, the Biden administration has united. They're forming the Dooms team. They're driving our enemies together. And the Dooms team, for those of you who didn't read my book, Learning Earth's Deathly History, the book, I won't pimp my book, but the description, just go to thegreatshipofknowledge.com, thegreatshipofknowledge.com, you can read about it. But in my book, the Dooms team is the dark order of malign seeking to eradicate America. So the Dooms team is forming. All the players that I wrote about, they're, you don't need to be prophetic to know who our enemies are, right? North Korea, Iran, Russia, China, and some other evil countries out there, but the smaller ones. But so Putin meets with Xi Jinping and announces already plans for a new global world order, which America will not be part of. And Russia announces support for the China-Taiwan reunification. So when we go to war with China in the South China Sea over Taiwan, know that we're fighting China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and this whole axis of evil. Great job, Joey, on unifying. And Obama he doesn't, he hates America. Obama didn't like America being the police of the world. And so I believe this is all Obama pulling the strings in the back. Remember the house he bought in Washington, D.C.? They gutted it and rebuilt it with enough wiring to run 3 city blocks. It's a command and control space. I'm telling you, things are going south quick, and I pray you're prepping. I hope you're prepping and taking it serious, or you're going to be in deep mamu. And don't come knocking on your neighbor's doors asking for food that are preppers when they told you repeatedly to get ready, or you're going to be SOL. We all have to live with the choices we make in life, and if you're preparing, you'll live pretty good with that choice. And if you're not, it's not going to work out so good for you. And like I've always said, better to have and not need than need and not have. There's more than enough evidence out there that things are going south and that you should prepare. And if nothing happens, you're just going to save a bunch of money because everything you buy now is going to cost more in the future. And I'm going to touch on the banking crisis too. So Trump's arrest looks imminent. The New York Police Department met with the Secret Service today. The Secret Service suggested that they do a virtual arraignment to avoid tremendous danger. I agree with that, but they don't care. They don't care what happens. They want their picture of Trump in handcuffs. And the statute of limitation on this stuff they're coming after Trump ran out years ago. It's beyond but who follows the law anymore, right? We're living in godless evil time. Well, not in my neighborhood. I mean, not me. But we're living in a time where the godless evil people are ruling. And we know how it wins, though. I mean, sooner or later, the second coming is going to happen. And these people, they're going to be in deep man mood. Pray that they find Jesus, but if not, they're going to get what's coming to them. And we're all sinners, you godless commies, the salvation is there. You just need to take it. It's free. And if you decide to keep your alliance with Satan, then, so be it. Justice is coming, even though it doesn't seem like it in the world we're living in. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. Much, much worse. So anyways, they have unloaded barricades. They're unloading them right now and setting them up by the criminal court in Manhattan. Never thought I'd see the times we're living in, folks. I mean, a sitting president of the United States that was a good president, right? Did everything that was good for America, worked for the American people. But the godless commies hate him and despise him. They want revenge for him throwing a monkey wrench into the global reset and putting it off. And same thing while they put out an arrest warrant for Putin too, right? Putin's not a globalist, he's a nationalist. Again, I'm not hauling water for Putin. I'm not a fan of Vladimir Putin. He's a KGB communist and has probably killed people with his own hands. Definitely has had people murdered, disappeared. So the fact that him and Xi Jinping are hitting it off is no surprise to me. So France, remember Macron or whatever, somehow did his own emergency powers, went around their parliament or their legislature or whatever and said, I'm going to raise the retirement age to 70 years old, whether you like it or not, because it's a national emergency or we're going to financially collapse. So they went and tried to vote that down and they didn't have the vote. So that stuck, folks. So if somebody was 60, I don't know what the retirement age, 63, okay, I'm going to finally hang it up. My health's not good. My back hurts. Oh, too bad now. You got to wait till you're 70. And that makes me think this December, if they don't do the same thing here before December when I can get my Social Security, I think I'm going to grab it while I can. So, let me look at my notes here really quick, folks. I think I covered the bases. Just talk about Michigan real quick. Garbage now. Anyways, in Michigan, the radical leftists are coming for our guns. The Senate has already put forth a bill, and this bills can start in the House or start in the Senate. They start in the House, they go to Senate for approval. If they start in the Senate, they go to the House for approval. If they agree and don't want to mark it up at all, it goes right to the governor after they vote on it, which is what's going to happen to this. So if you live in Michigan, know right now that they are about to pass full out gun registration. Registration of every gun that exists in Michigan. That's what they're doing right now as I speak. They only have like a 3 or 4, maybe it's not even that, 2 or 3 majority of Democrats in the House. So if you're in a Michigan district where you have a Democrat representative, I suggest you get on the phone and call them. A lot of Democrats are pro-gun rights. I can tell you that the sheriffs and the deputies that I've heard about in northern Michigan take their oath of office serious to enforce and uphold not only the state but the federal Constitution, and they see these laws as unconstitutional. They get it. What part of shall not infringe do they not understand? And they are not going to enforce these illegal gun laws. So, but Michigan is going down the shiter real quick. S-H-I, you get the word. And red flag laws, and it's going to get bad. They're going to turn honest, law-abiding citizens into felons, and they don't care. Then they can charge them, and they probably can't vote, or something like that. They're just evil. And look, they don't look at Democrats do not care about gun violence and most of it. None of it's legal gun owners, right? Like the excuse they're using for this was a shooter at Michigan Michigan State University who was a felon and should not have had a gun. But hello, he had a gun. So there's enough gun laws on the books, and they don't enforce them. But listen, they don't care about these shootings. I mean, look at Chicago's a war zone. 50, 100 people a weekend getting blasted. You hear them bitching about it? They don't care. This is about tyranny, my friends. This is about disarming every law-abiding American so they can put the jackboot of tyranny on your throat and squash your jugular, break your windpipe. That's what it's about. And the reason for the Second Amendment, right, is to stop this kind of government. This is why we have a Second Amendment. It's not about hunting. They like to say, well, Second Amendment's about hunting. No, it was never about hunting. It's to be able to protect ourselves against a tyrannical government. That's why. And the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. And if you want to think about bearing arms as holding, I think they're already smothering our gun rights. In fairness, people ain't going to want to like this, but if you can hold a bazooka, a machine gun, those are arms you can bear, right? You can hold them. So I believe we have a constitutional right to own those guns. If they want to make you get, and you can own machine guns now, you just got to go through get a certain gun permit to own them. But if you want to go through all that, but it's going to get rough, folks. It's going to get a lot worse. And I wish I could just put on the red light and stop the madness, right? But right now it's green go with the commies. And there's no caution is for us. What's coming. Get ready. So there, I wrote my light into the video or fit it in there. But so it's going to get bad. And then the banks, on that subject, one of the banks, Swiss something bailed. There's two big banks there. The one bailed out the other one, gave them like $3 billion or something. Probably bought it for a dime on the dollar. They bailed out the banks here with more printed money. But no, there's hundreds of banks in America that are this close to failing. In Wall Street, look at Wall Street's up today, okay? These are the big traders, right? The big guys on Wall Street, that spend, buy millions and, billions of stocks and then sell and buy. It's not you and I that's driving the market. But they want it to look good because, everybody's 401ks, right? So they're manipulating the market. My opinion, like all this financial stuff, do your own research. I'm no expert. I'm giving you my opinion, okay? But there's, the small banks, and look at Jefferson warned, and I quoted him at the beginning of this video, about nationalizing a national bank, that it's bad. We do not want that. And that's what they're doing, right? They want to, Janet Yellen come out. We're not worried about the little banks. We're not going to protect them. And they want you to move your money from the little banks to the big banks So the little banks go under, right? That's what they want to do. And it's all part of having a mega bank in the country, two of them that'll end up one national bank with an ESG score and your social credit score. And, we know where all this is heading, right? I mean, just read the last book of the Bible and you're going to find out, take the mark of the beast to buy or sell. That's where it's heading. And we can see the Gog-Magog alliance forming. And it's just, I wish I had good news for you. It's not good news. I went to the bank and got out some cash because, practice what you preach. And I think everybody should have gold, silver, their preps, and some cash, maybe to pay 5-6 months of bills. So I went to the bank because I know you can't get much money out of the bank. Bonnie and Clyde would be bankrupt trying to rob banks today because this is why they rob convenience stores now. There's no money at the banks, folks. It's enough to give some cash out during the day. But if you want like 5 or 10 grand, you've got to call them, especially 10 grand. And you got to give them a couple days to get the money in. You know why this is? The banks don't have any money. I forget what I just heard. There's like 120 banks that if close to half of their depositors just suddenly pulled their money, they're going under because they don't have any money. But I got out, I don't know, 4 or 5 grand, and he didn't want to give me that. Well, we're not used to people pulling out this kind of money. I think it was 5 grand. 5 grand. So I'm not going to pull out all my money because I'm just not convinced that they're going to go under tomorrow. But I'm getting some money because I'm concerned, and everybody should be. But this country is bankrupt. They're propping it up. It's a house of cards. They can't do it much longer. This thing's going to implode, and it's going to implode big time. The debt of this country is greater than all the other countries' debt from the beginning of time to today. When you figure in our unfunded liabilities, it's well over $100 trillion, just to unfunded liabilities. Interest rates are going up. It's going to take, and our debt to GDP has went from 20%, over several decades, from 20% to 50%, to 70%. Now it's 124% debt to GDP. Unsustainable, folks. This is Venezuela. And they're doing it on purpose. I think it's all going toward, not only they want to build us toward a national bank in America, but it'll probably be part of a national world bank and be total control. And if we don't fight it right now and change history, the history that's coming that they want to give us, the future, I should say, change the future. If we don't want to change the future that will soon be our history, we got to fight. And number one is that you cannot let them infringe on your Second Amendment rights. I can tell you, I know the people in northern Michigan, a lot of good old boys up here and good old girls. A lot of women up here handle a gun just as good as any guy. And they're not giving up their guns. And they're probably not registering their guns. They can pass all the effing laws they want. So that's it. So we got 300,000 troops going to Ukraine, Russian border, NATO troops, or not to Ukraine, along the Russian border, the length of it, to shore it up because their excuse is Putin's aggression. But no, they're getting ready to fight Russia. But it looks like we're heading to a final battle, World War III. America and our allies, who are weak, by the way. I heard the other day that Britain, if they went to full-out war, they've got enough ammunition to fight for 5 days. So they're going to be quite an ally, right? Dangerous times. And to think that they raided a sitting president's house that did nothing wrong, right? Took his personal stuff, rummaged through his house. This is third world Gestapo stuff. Stasi. And now they're going to arrest him again for doing nothing wrong. Zero wrong. Because we're living in a lawless society. And crime is going to go up. And I suggest you stock up on your 2A stuff. That you cannot buy enough food in preps, folks. I mean, no one has enough. I don't care what level of prepper they are. There's something they need or something they should buy. And I think if you want to invest your money right now and fight inflation, preps is a good thing to be buying. Gold was on a run. It was up to over 2,000 an ounce, like 201. It's pulled back a little bit today, but remember that's because they're selling this paper gold, the Wall Street crooks, and they unload a bunch of paper gold and it drives the bullion price down. But that's fake. They manipulate gold and silver. I'm sure if that wasn't happening, gold and silver would be way, 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 way expensive. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please like, share, subscribe, and help grow this channel. I like to say this is our channel, right? We're 50 people away from 10,000 subs. So share this channel, get people to subscribe, and I'll keep sharing the news as long as I'm allowed on this platform. You gotta watch what you say here because they're really sensitive. Basically to the truth. They're sensitive to some truthful issues that they don't want you to share. And we know what they are, right? So that's all right. We already know the truth, YouTube. So, all right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Keep prepping and keep praying. Get your friends on board. Everybody should be prepping. And just tell them, say, hey, I'm doing you a favor right now. You can either get ready for what's coming or you can't. But if you decide you're not going to, don't come looking at me when you're starving. All right? Shame them into it. Whatever you got to do. See you, bye.